What if the thing your dog needs most from you has nothing to do with walks, food, or toys? What if it is something so simple and you have been missing it every single day? Here is the uncomfortable truth. Most dogs spend their entire lives trying to tell their owners something important, and most owners never fully receive the message. Not because they do not care, because nobody ever explained what it looks like. By the end of this video, that changes. 5 things your dog needs you to do differently, starting today. And number 4 is the one nobody sees coming. 1. Stop staring your dog down when they do something wrong. You know this moment. Your dog has done something, chewed something, knocked something over, taken something they should not have. You turn around, and without thinking, you fix them with a long, firm, unblinking stare. You think you are communicating disappointment. Your dog is having a completely different experience. In canine social language, a sustained direct stare is not correction. It is not disappointment. It is not authority. It is a threat display. The same signal a dominant animal uses to initiate a confrontation. That freeze you see, the dog going completely still, head low, eyes looking up at you, that is not guilt. Researchers have documented this extensively. That is appeasement. That is your dog saying with every signal their body has, "Please do not escalate this. I am not a threat." And over time, a dog who receives this regularly begins to calculate, is this eye contact safe? Is this version of my owner the dangerous one? That dog can never fully relax around you. The fix is simple. Use your voice to interrupt. Move calmly instead of loom. Redirect instead of stare. Because the dog who trusts you completely cannot exist if part of them is always watching your eyes. 2. When they come to check on you, let them finish. Your dog walks over to you. They approach quietly. They sniff your hand. They press their nose briefly against your arm, maybe your face, and your immediate response, completely natural, completely well-meaning, is to reach out and start petting them. It feels like connection. But you just interrupted a sentence they were in the middle of saying. When your dog initiates this kind of quiet approach, they are not simply seeking affection. They are doing something far more deliberate. They are reading you. Your body chemistry tells them things your face never could. Whether you are stressed, whether something is wrong, whether you are okay. That quiet sniff is not casual. It is your dog running a careful, detailed assessment of how you are actually doing. And the moment you reach out and convert that into a petting session, you shift the entire dynamic. You make it about your need, not theirs. So try this instead. Next time your dog comes over and initiates a quiet check-in, keep your hands still. Let them take whatever time they need. Let them finish. Only after they have completed what they came to do, then respond. A dog who is allowed to finish their sentences eventually starts saying more of them. 3. Let them know something difficult is coming. Here is something we do to dogs every single day that we would never do to another person we cared about. We change their world without warning. New baby arriving, moving house, a family member leaving, a new pet, surgery, a period where your schedule changes completely. To you, these things come with context, with mental preparation, with time to adjust. To your dog, they simply happen. One day the world is one thing. The next day it is something else entirely. And your dog has no framework to explain the shift. No language to ask what is happening. No way to know whether the change is permanent or temporary. A study from Stockholm University found that dogs experienced significantly higher cortisol levels during household disruption, and that the stress response was notably more severe when the disruption was sudden rather than gradual. You cannot explain a house move to your dog in words, but you can take them to the new home before you move. You can maintain the routines that matter most during the transition. You can let them explore the change at their own pace. What most owners do is nothing. They assume their dog will just adjust. Sometimes they do, but the cost of that adjustment is real and invisible to the people who caused it. 4. Let them say no. This is the one. Your dog has a vocabulary, a real one, not words, body language, posture, movement, micro signals that are documented, consistent, and meaningful. And within that vocabulary, they have a clear way of saying, "Not right now. I do not want this. Please stop." The head turning away, the lip lick, the slight lean back, the unexpected yawn, the body that goes still instead of soft. These are not random. These are sentences. And most owners do not just miss them, they actively override them. The child who wants to hug the dog, and the dog whose whole body is saying no, and the owner who says, "Go ahead, he loves it." The grooming session where the dog signals discomfort, and the owner keeps going because it needs to be done. Every time this happens, your dog learns something. Their communication does not work. And a dog who has learned their signals do not work stops sending them clearly, until one day they skip the quiet signals entirely and go straight to the loud ones. Research from the University of Bristol found that dogs with more autonomy over physical interactions showed fewer anxiety behaviors and formed stronger voluntary bonds with their handlers. Less control from you, more trust from them. 5. Be the same person every day. Your dog does not need you to be perfect. They do not need you to be endlessly patient, to never have a bad day, to always be available and engaged and present. What they need is to be able to predict you. Research into canine stress and owner behavior has consistently found that unpredictability in the primary owner, not harshness, not neglect, but simple inconsistency, is among the strongest predictors of chronic anxiety in domestic dogs. An owner who is warm one day and distracted the next, who plays enthusiastically on weekends and ignores them during the week, who sets rules that shift depending on their mood. To your dog, that is exhausting, because they cannot map you, and if they cannot map you, they cannot relax around you. The version of your dog you most want to see, loose, present, open, trusting, can only exist when their nervous system has decided it is safe to stop monitoring. And monitoring only stops when the person being monitored has become predictable enough to trust. So feed them around the same time. Walk them with the same patience. Respond to their signals with the same attention, regardless of how your day went. You do not need to be an extraordinary owner. You need to be a consistent one. Because the dog your dog is trying to be is waiting for the version of you that always shows up. Closing and key lesson. So here is what your dog has been trying to tell you. Not through barking, not through destruction, not through the behaviors that frustrate you most. Through the quiet ones. The freeze when you stare too long. The check-in you cut short. The anxiety that spiked when everything changed overnight. The signal that said no, that you did not hear. The monitoring that never quite stops because they cannot fully predict what version of you is walking through the door. Your dog has been sending this message their entire life. And the good news, the genuinely hopeful part, is that none of this requires you to be a different person. It requires you to be a more present one. Stop staring. Let them finish. Prepare them for change. Honor their no. Show up the same way, most days, in the moments that matter most to them. That is it. 5 shifts. No special training required, no equipment, no expertise. Just attention. And the willingness to hear what has already been said. Your dog does not need you to be perfect. They need you to be someone they can read, someone they can trust, someone whose presence feels like, finally, a place they can rest. And once they find that in you, everything else follows.